Hi, I'm Rohith. So I'm working on the 3D tank game, and as of now, I have made a tank controller script, so I'm able to control a tank. And I've also included a sort of joystick so that I can control this tank using the mobile. So I am meaning to make a Android build, and we'll also look at how to make an Android build. So right now we'll look at the changes and how I've implemented the player. So it's pretty simple. I've created a new game object and I include the tank model as a child. And for the player, I've added the collider and I've added a rigid body followed by the tank controller script. So this script is responsible for making the movement for the tank, and it's a basic script. So you have two axes, horizontal and vertical for the input, and I've got this from the joystick. So the joystick is actually imported from the Unity Asset Store. So this is the joystick pack, and by importing this, you will get a bunch of prefabs. And I've used a fixed joystick here. And since it's an UI, we have to place it under the canvas, right? And I have set the canvas with scale with screen size, so it stays the same in even if you change the resolutions. And yeah, so fixed canvas. When I move the joystick, it would have its own horizontal and vertical. Uh, I'll show you that. So it has its own horizontal and vertical floats. So this should be set, and this public members is what we are referring to here. So joystick dot horizontal will get the horizontal axis, vertical will get the vertical axis. So now we have the two inputs. We just have to find the direction that the player has to move. So direction is vector 3 dot forward in the vertical move, and this is basically the same as, so direction is vector 3, right? And vector 3 means it has three x, y, and z. So vector 3 dot forward is yeah, 0 0 1 in the, like this, in the is a direction. So 0 0 and 1. So we are multiplying that with the vertical move. So which means it's basically 0 0 and vertical move, right? And the same goes for vector 3 dot right, but here it will be in the x-axis. So 1 0 0 and into horizontal. So it would be horizontal move 0 comma 0, right? So we are adding both these to get the final direction, which would be horizontal move 0 and vertical move. And direction, so I'm rotating the vector here. I'll talk about this while in a second. We just look at player move for now. So player move is basically, it'll use this direction and it'll move the tank in that direction, right? So I have used a rigid body here. So rigid body, I'm getting the reference using get component, and I'm setting the rigid body velocity. So a constant velocity whenever the tank is moving. So direction dot normalize. So direction is the direction that we want to move in, right? And I'm multiplying that with the speed, which can be altered in the inspector itself. And this should basically, it'll set constant speed in the direction that the player is giving input, right? And transform that look at is what makes the tank look in the direction that it is moving. So I'll just show it for now. Okay. So see, I'm moving the direction that joystick is in. The tank is moving in that direction, and the tank is also looking at that direction. Uh, I'll explain how it works. So transform that look at is a function that rotates the transform so that the forward vector points at a world position. So all it needs is a world position. So a vector 3, but it must be a world position. So it looks in that direction. So if I had not included uh, transformed position, and if it was this direction to normalize, so say I'm looking upwards, right? And upwards in the sense, yeah, towards this direction, right? So it would be, the direction would be something like what, vector 3 forward, or let's just keep it simple right now. So we know vector 3 dot forward is z, right? And vector 3 right is x. So let's say I want to move it in this way, towards gz. So direction would be um, 0 comma 0 comma 1, right? And this is before, like, when I'm having vertical move, there would be some kind of distance here, right? So if I maybe uh, something like that. And uh, like, say it's even if it's, maybe I'm moving in a direction that is in both axes, so z and x. So z and x should be in both directions, z and x. So this would mean the tank is moving in a diagonal way, right? And what happens here is, the transformed look at is at the direction that is normalized, but the thing is, this direction is not a world position. So it is just the input changed into like values of vector, right? And if you have direction that normalized like this, the tank would look at a point. It would look at a position in the world that is same as the direction dot normalized. So direction, it's not exactly direction, it's a world point. So it would keep looking at the origin, because uh, like somewhat near the origin, because 101, it's near the origin, right? So I'll just show you. See, the tank is looking at some point on the origin, right? And if even if I move the tank, it would keep on looking at that specific point. That's because the direction is not a world post point. It's right, and it's the direction after all. So for that, what I've done is I've added the transformed position. So what this would mean is that I have the current position of the tank right now. So current world space of tank, world space pose of tank, and I'm adding a direction to it. So this would mean that I have the current direction. So say the tank is in uh, 0 comma 0 comma 0, right? And it's at that position right now, and I am now looking at right side. So this would result in 1 comma 0 comma 0. So that tank would look at a point, the point 1 comma 0 comma 0, right? And say if I'm in 5 comma 0 comma 1, right? Something like this, I don't know. Yeah. And now if I want to look at the forward direction, so it would be 5 comma 0 comma 2. So to better explain this, I'll show you. Okay, so say this is the, I'll draw a graph, right? So okay, so say this is the tank, right? And it's at x equal to 3 and y equal to 4, right? Now I want the tank to look at this direction, right? So what I've done is I've taken the world position of the tank, so 3 comma 4, right? And I've added the direction that I want to look at. So I want to look at the y direction, so 0 comma 1. So this would result in 3 comma 5. So the tank has to look at a point 3 comma 5, right? And if I want to look at in this direction, So 3 comma 4 plus it's the x direction, so 1 comma 0. So it would be 4 comma 4. So then could have to look at that point 4 comma 4, right? So that's basically what is happening here, and that's how I implement that transform.lookat. And in update, so update runs every frame. Uh, I'll run the code every frame, right? And yeah, so let's see. Cool. Yeah, so direction that got this one. I'm rotating the angle here, so I'll show you why I'm doing that. So here I'm using for the direction I'm using vector 3 dot forward and vector 3 dot right. Right. So vector 3 dot forward always means it's pointing in the z direction in the world space, and vector 3 dot right means the x direction, the right. That's vector 3 dot right. So it would be like, okay, so say I'm pulling my crosshair like joystick up, right? So I want the tank to move in this way, straight up. But vector 3 dot forward is here, and vector 3 dot right is here. So if I multiply, like if I add this horse like vertical axis to uh, what am I adding it to? Vertical axis to forward, right? So the tank would instead move in this way, right? It go this way. So I don't want it to do that. I want it to go this way. So it's because of the camera that uh, I guess, like, because the camera is tilted at an angle, uh, it is like counterintuitive. Even if I am going upwards, but the tank, even though it's going straight, it looks like it's going crossway, right? So I'm tilting the direction, resulting direction, in an angle that is makes it straight, right? So from the inspector of the camera, I found that it's rotated at 60 degree. So I just add that to the direction vector, and that's basically it. We'll get, so even if I move forwards, the angle would be rotated 60 degrees, so the tank would go upwards. So that's what is happening here. And yeah, so that's what I've done so far. um, yeah, then finally build settings. So to change from to build for Android, we just have to click on Android, and there would be a switch platform here, just like this. So it would take some time, but it will switch the platform. And before building, we have to change some player settings. So company name and product name. So this would be the name of the app, and you can provide a version and icon. So you can set an icon. Resolution. Resolution, because my game is landscape mode, I have set it to landscape right and landscape left, so that it doesn't support portrait mode, right? And splash. Okay, splash image is the, like, made with Unity, that thing. We can also add an extra logo if you want. Uh, then we just have to make sure the package name is correct, like company name dot the product name and the version. So if you are going for multiple releases, the version should be different each time. Yeah, so that's basically it. And then if you go with build and provide the location, it would take out an APK file, right? So that's what I have done so far. Thanks for watching.